Before the world knew Nellie Bly as the woman who traveled the world in 72 days, she was born Elizabeth Cochran Seaman in Cochrane Mills, Pennsylvania in 1864. After her father's death in 1880, her family moved to Pittsburgh. Featured in the Pittsburgh Dispatch at the time was an article entitled, "What Girls Are Good For," which made bold claims like women are only around to make children and keep the house. Elizabeth decided to send in her own response to the article. She wrote, "If girls were boys, quickly would it be said, start them where they will, they can, if ambitious, win a name and fortune. How many wealthy and great men could be pointed out who started in the depths? But where are the many women?" Her response impressed the editor of the Dispatch so much that he put out an ad in the paper asking for her to identify herself. She did, and was invited to work for the newspaper full-time. Her editor decided on the pen name Nellie Bly, as it was from a popular song at the time by Stephen Foster. Bly moved from Pittsburgh to New York City to work for the New York World, where she began making revolutionary steps in the realm of investigative journalism. She wrote an exposé called 10 Days in a Madhouse, in which she went undercover in a women's lunatic asylum on Blackwell's Island. She experienced harsh and unlivable conditions that the women in the asylum were forced to live in. After 10 days, the asylum released Bly, and she wrote her piece on her time there. On November 14, 1889, Bly embarked on her journey around the world, attempting to beat the previous record of 80 days. She carried with her only the dress she was wearing, a sturdy overcoat, several changes of underwear, and a small travel bag with her toiletry essentials. She beat the record and made it around the world in only 72 days. In 1895, Bly married millionaire Robert Seaman and retired from her journalistic endeavors, but Bly's legacy lives on today. She not only paved the way for female journalists of the future, but she also revolutionized investigative journalism. After Bly, journalism was no longer about just giving the facts. It was about finding the truth.